up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome to my Sunday bonus video where we are going to be going through my entire eyeshadow palette collection and pulling the 4 palettes that y'all will have to choose from for my upcoming Throwback Thursday video. So as always, make sure that you head over to my community section so you can cast your vote for the palette that you want to see. But let's go ahead and get started, as always, on the top row up here. And I don't really know what I want to play with. I don't have anything in my head. Usually I have sort of like a color story, a theme or something, but I don't know what I want to play with, so we're just going to kind of go through what I have and see how I'm feeling. And starting over here with Nomad Cosmetics, I don't think there's anything over here that I want to play with, but I do think from Cosmic Beauty, I want to pull out the Serenity palette. This one is so beautiful. It's got kind of a springy vibe to it, and I'm kind of feeling it. It's fun, it's different, and we're going to pull this one. So we've got one palette, and I don't think there's anything else from Cosmic Beauty that I want to pull. No. And then moving over here to Adept, I think we're going to skip Adept as well, and we're just going to move on to our first drawer right here. So in here, is there anything that we want to play with? I definitely want to pull the Heather Austin palette. I had this one out last week and decided to change it up because we were doing like a Valentine's Day theme. So we're going to pull that one. That palette is absolutely beautiful and doesn't get nearly enough love in my collection. But I think as far as the rest of these go, I think we're going to skip everything else in this top drawer. This is all Unearthly, Fantasy Cosmetica, and then I have my Gloss Gods right here, which I am planning on doing a palette bingo with these. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But I think we're going to skip this drawer. Yeah, we're going to move on to the next drawer down. And what do we have in here? Ooh, I think I want to pull the Secret Garden palette. Ugh, I couldn't think of what the name of it. I want to pull this. It's so beautiful, and I'm just feeling this right now. It's really inspiring me. I'm loving this sort of springy look. I'm ready for spring. I don't know about y'all, but I love cold weather, but I'm kind of over it here. I'm over this whole back and forth. Like yesterday, it was like 84 degrees outside, and this morning it's 34. I can't deal with that anymore. I need some consistency as far as my weather goes, but I think that is going to be it for this drawer. Maybe we'll pull some Oden's Eye. I've been skipping over Oden's Eye lately, and one palette that I do really think is pretty is the Flora Story palette. This is the one that they did with Makeup Just for Fun. I do really love this color story, but I also really love the Sea Talk palette as well. Maybe we'll pull Sea Talk. This one's my favorite of the 3 that they came out with. I also have the one from Betty Jean, Planet Spirit, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's bright and fun and colorful. But surprisingly, this one was my favorite. So I think we're going to pull that one as well. And we're going to move on to the next drawer. I need to rearrange myself a little bit, so let me do that. Alright, so here we are in the next drawer down, and this has all my Sea Beauty, my Blend Bunny, and my Titanium Foxes, and I think we're probably going to skip this drawer as well. I am so excited about the new Blend Bunny palette. I don't know if you'll have seen it yet. I know that it's already been sneak peeked and everything, but it is insanely beautiful, and I'm excited to see that they're coming out with something that's not a rainbow palette, and it's not a collab palette. It's an original color story, and I think it's insanely beautiful, but I think... Ooh, this is my favorite from Blend Bunny. I just love this color story so much. We're going to pull this one. I already have 5 palettes, y'all. Of course I do. It is what it is. But we're going to move on to the next drawer down. And in here, this is where all my glam light lives. And of course, we've got Lethal, we've got Glaminatrix, and then back up under here, we have Wicked Widow. I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there's anything in here that I want to pull. And I think there is one palette that I want to pull out. It might end up going back up in here after I go through everything. But it's the Sugar and Spice palette from Glaminatrix. It's neutral, but it's got these really pretty pops of pastels in it. And the shimmers in here are beautiful. This is the first palette I ever got from the brand. So we're going to pull that one. And then I think we're going to skip the rest of this drawer. Yeah, I'm not feeling any of this in here. Yeah, we're going to skip this drawer and we're going to move on to the next one down. So let me put all of this back and let me rearrange myself one more time. Okay, next drawer we've got Simply Posh, Gourmande Girls, Ladybug Glow, Sugar Drizzle and Blairdale MUA. And I think we may skip this drawer today as well. Yeah, we're going to skip this drawer and we're going to move on to the next one down. So in here we've got ColourPop, Melt, Cleona, CXC, and then back there we've got Lunar Beauty. I did pick up this one from ColourPop. This one's been on my mind for such a long time since it came out. I think the color story is really pretty. It's neutral leaning, but it's really kind of comparable to Going Coconuts, but like an expanded version. So I decided to pick it up on a whim when I purchased another palette. I think it was the Shadow of, what is it? The Shadow of, the Book of Shadows. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but look at how similar those are. It's just more of an expanded color story. I have loved this palette for such a long time, but I've always wished it had more variety, so that's why I picked up this one. So I'm probably going to do a short or something like that with it, but let me know what y'all think. Let me know if you want to see like a full video on that. It's kind of an older palette. I think it came out maybe end of 23, beginning of 2024, but if y'all want to see a video with it, I am more than happy to do it. Otherwise, I'll probably just do a short and play with it in my own time. But I think we're going to skip this drawer and we're going to move on to the next one. I just don't think there's anything in here that I'm kind of feeling right now. I kind of like the color stories that I have pulled, but we're going to keep going. So next drawer down is going to be just a big conglomeration of a bunch of different brands, and this drawer always overwhelms me. I just don't know any other way to kind of organize these palettes that I have sitting here. I kind of thought about pulling out the Mermazing palette, but I don't know if I'm really in the mood for this one. That shimmer's starting to puff up, y'all. Clarity shimmers are so ridiculously sensitive and just fragile. This one's beautiful though, and it's actually hanging on, but even that one's starting to crack a little bit. So I don't know how well these palettes from Clarity are going to hang on, but I think we're going to put that one back. Maybe I should lay it down instead of having it sit up like that. Maybe that'll help. Let me see if I can kind of rearrange this a little bit to where it'll kind of sit in here a little bit better. Hold on. Okay, I think that's going to work better, but I think we might skip this drawer. That one's awfully pretty, but I just don't think that's going to be a fun Throwback Thursday because you can only get like a couple of looks out of this one. I mean, you could get really creative with it, but I'm going to put that one back as well. I'm really upset that Kaleidos discontinued those. I really wanted more of them, and I had planned on it, but now that they've discontinued it, I really don't feel like picking up the ones that they have left. But we are going to, I think, skip this drawer for now. Actually, I want to check on one more palette. It's another Clarity palette. I want to see how we're doing in here because this is a shade that I repressed because it pretty much like disintegrated and fell apart in here, and yeah, it's like full on powdery. Super disappointing. I'm probably gonna have to toss that shade pretty soon, but let's just put her back for now and we're going to move on. So I'm going to shut this drawer and we're going to move over here to these two drawers where I have my luxury, high-end, drugstore, mainstream, all of that. Alright, so here we are in this bottom drawer, and I don't think there's really anything in here that I want to play with, not anything that's kind of catching my eye. This is a lot of mainstream and high-end. In the back I've got some really old palettes that I don't play with anymore. I do have some indie brands that kind of trickled over from over there that just wouldn't fit. But the only palette I can think of that would be fun to play with is the Cosmos palette from ABH. I think this is the only ABH palette that I have left. This one is so pretty. Maybe we should pull it. I'm looking at what I have sitting over there, and this is kind of right along those color storylines, so we'll see what happens. I am going to pull it. It might end up back in the drawer, but who knows? You never know what my mood is going to be like whenever I get to that point. But I think other than that, we are going to skip this drawer. Maybe we want to play with Midsummer. This one is from Alter Ego, and it's the same color story as the Nouveau palette from ABH. I never had that one. And this one is absolutely beautiful, but I think between the two, I'd rather play with Cosmos. So we're going to put that one back for now. Maybe we'll pull that one next week. And we're going to move on to our final drawer of palettes, which is going to be high-end, or, well, luxury pretty much. This is mostly luxury and then some prestige brands up here, like my Natasha Denona. And I think we're going to skip this drawer. There's just not anything in here that I want to pull for a Throwback Thursday. It's a lot of Natasha Denona, like I said, Pat McGrath, and then these are all like quads and Viseart, like smaller palettes, and I don't like to pull those for Throwback Thursdays. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and gather the palettes that we have pulled, and we're going to go through it and we're going to dwindle it down to 4. Alright y'all, so these are the palettes that I pulled. We have 7 of them sitting here, which means that 3 of them need to go because we can only have 4. And looking at these sitting here, I definitely want to keep the Resurgence palette because I love this color story. I think it's beautiful, it's fun. It definitely gets my creative juices flowing, and I want to keep this one in. So that leaves us down to these up here, and I need to open these up so I can see what we're working with. So we've got Sea Talk back over here. We've got Cosmos, if I can get her open. There we go. We've got Lore from Blend Bunny. We've got Secret Garden, Serenity, turn this one around. And lastly, we've got Sugar and Spice from Glaminatrix. So, looking at all of these palettes, ooh, this is really hard. Like really, really hard. But I think I want to leave in Serenity. I definitely want to leave in, I think we're going to leave in Secret Garden. And then, I think we're going to take Sugar and Spice out of it. We're going to take Cosmos out of it. And then it's between these 2 palettes right here. And, which one do we want to play with? I think out of these 2 right here, and this is really, really hard, we're going to go Sea Talk. And we're going to put Lore away. So we're going to put these 3 palettes away, and then these 4 are going to be our finalists. So let's run through these really quick, do some good close-ups, and then make sure y'all head over and cast your votes. So starting with Cosmic Beauty, we have the Serenity palette, the very first one that I ever got. Not their first palette, I think this was their second palette. There's a hair in it. Sorry. But that one is our first option. Next we have Resurgence from Unearthly in collaboration with Heather Austin. Such a beautiful, fun color story, something a little bit different. The shimmers in here are insanely gorgeous. And then we have the Sea Talk palette from Oden's Eye in collaboration with Lauren May Beauty. I love that shade right there in the middle, Electric Kelp. It is so beautiful on the inner corner. And then lastly, we have Secret Garden from Bella Beauté Bar. This monstrosity of a palette is absolutely gorgeous. I just love the pinks and the greens in here. You've got some more teal leaning shades, neutrals on the top. The shimmers in here are beautiful, and that is going to be our 4th and final choice. So like I said, make sure you head over to my community section so you can cast your vote on the palette that you want to see. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to click the notification bell, and I will see y'all in my next video. Have a good one.